So you're looking to shed some body fat and you're thinking about cutting carbs. In this video, I'm gonna go over why you don't need to cut carbs and why you shouldn't cut carbs if you're looking to lose fat, improve your performance, and stay lean once you get lean. Carbs are not the enemy when it comes to fat loss. And in fact, carbs can actually help you burn more fat, fuel your workouts, and stay more satisfied so that you're more likely to stick to your plan and your diet and see some results in the end. So in this video, we're gonna bust some carb myths when it comes to fat loss and show you exactly what carbs you should be eating in order to accelerate your fat loss and make the journey a lot more sustainable and a lot easier. My name is Bridger Deaton. I am a certified nutrition coach and personal trainer at the Lean and Lethal Project, and I've been helping guys get lean and increase their strength without having to follow any strict fad diets and get into that constant cycle of yo-yo dieting where you lose weight, put it on, diet again, put more weight on, and just it's a never-ending cycle that a lot of people seem to get stuck in, and we're here to break that. And I get it, a lot of people like to easily hate on carbs when it comes to fat loss, and that's usually the first thing to go. But today we're gonna break down the science on how carbs can help you lose fat and keep it off, and we're gonna show you exactly how you can use carbs to your advantage. So let's address the elephant in the room. First off, the big misconception around carbs is that eating carbs just generally makes you fat. So
wrong, it is wrong.
So if you want to lose fat, the first thing you have to do is get rid of carbs, and that's not the case. The only thing that will help you lose body fat is an energy deficit. That means burning more energy than you are consuming. And that energy that you consume isn't just about carbohydrates. You can gain fat from eating too much protein, eating too many carbs, or eating too much fat, which is very easy to do when you start things such as the keto diet. And you're probably thinking, well, my Uncle Eddie did the keto diet and he lost 10 pounds in 10 days. So how can that be? It's pretty simple. For every gram of carbohydrates that you eat, your body stores about 3 grams of water. So when you cut carbohydrates out of your diet, your body's also losing a lot of that excess water weight, which isn't fat. So when your Uncle Eddie said that he lost 10 pounds in 10 days, the majority of that is simply just water weight. So that creates the rapid drop in scale weight, which makes people think that it's a very effective diet when really you're just losing that water that is stored in your muscles and your liver. And cutting carbs too much can actually hurt your fat loss progress more than it's gonna help it. Super low energy levels, poor workouts, super intense cravings are all things that can easily derail your progress. So what's the solution? Just having the right carbs in the right amounts. Think about it like this. If you need to save money, are you gonna cut out all of your spending? No, of course not. You're not gonna be able to survive long without spending a single dime. So what's the solution? You simply create more awareness around where you're spending money and figure out where you can manage your spending so that you can still enjoy life and still save some money on the side and have that happy balance that's sustainable. And the same sort of principle goes for nutrition. Cutting entire food groups out or cutting entire foods out that you enjoy is not gonna be a sustainable approach for fat loss. You're gonna be miserable, you're gonna crave these things that you're telling yourself you can't have, and your performance is likely going to drop significantly. Instead, you simply need to build some awareness around your nutrition habits and your macros and a little bit of foundational knowledge that will actually allow you to manage your nutrition in a way that you can still go out, enjoy foods with friends, enjoy celebrations, eat your favorite foods, see some progress when it comes to fat loss, and still improve your performance in the process. Think back to a time that you told yourself that you couldn't have a certain food. I'm guessing that after you did that, you started to think about that food a lot more often and in a lot more ways than you did before. And eventually you got to the point where that willpower wasn't there. You came home after a busy day at work, you broke, and you ended up binge eating or overeating what that food was that you told yourself you couldn't have. Naturally, we always want what we can't have. So by setting strict rules when it comes to nutrition, like you can't have carbs, you can't have sweets, and things like this, you're setting yourself up to eventually fail the diet. Because when we have rules, you either abide by them or you break them. There's no in between. This also stems from a lack of awareness around nutrition. See, if you understood the role that proteins, carbs, and fats play in our body and how foods actually differ between a piece of candy that has a bunch of sugar in it and a piece of fruit that has a bunch of sugar in it, you'll actually understand the principles that lead to fat loss and be able to manage your nutrition so that you don't have to suffer while trying to change and improve your body composition. So let's talk about the research a little bit. Studies actually show that diets that are high in fruits and vegetables, which are mostly carbohydrates, actually are associated with better weight management and more fat loss. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that increasing fruit and vegetable intake not only helps with fat loss, but also improves satiety, so you'll naturally eat fewer calories and be less hungry. Why is that? These carbohydrates are nutrient dense, but calorie light, meaning they come with a lot of nutrients in the forms of vitamins, minerals, and fiber that our body needs, but they don't come with a lot of excess calories. Now, on the other hand, when you hear people refer to these unprocessed foods, the big difference is that a lot of the quote-unquote unprocessed foods are more calorie dense and nutrient light, meaning they have a lot more calories with them, but you're not getting the fiber, the vitamins, and minerals that come with fruits and vegetables. And the addition of nutrients like fiber to fruits such as bananas that contain more sugar than some of your favorite candy is the difference that leads to them not spiking your blood sugar as much and leading to more intense cravings and allowing you to feel fuller for longer. Research also shows that higher carb diets lead to more movement throughout the day and more calories burned throughout the day. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants consuming a higher carbohydrate diet, about 80% of their total energy intake, moved more and burned more calories compared to those on a low carbohydrate diet. That is because carbs are our body's main energy source and provide a readily available source of energy. So when you're consuming more carbs, you're more likely to get up and walk around, fidget with your hands while you're sitting down, and participate in more activities throughout the day. Versus when you're on a low carbohydrate diet, you're less likely to fidget, you're less likely to walk somewhere and make decisions that involve more activity throughout the day, as your body's naturally going to want to expend less energy. Now that we know why carbs should still be in our diet when we're trying to lose body fat, let's get into what some of these carbs should be. First off, we'll start with fruits and vegetables like we've already mentioned. These are going to be packed with fiber along with multiple other micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals that we can't get from more processed and refined carbohydrates. These could be things such as beets, apples, berries, carrots, and bananas. Next, we have whole grains. These are going to be a little bit slower digesting carbohydrates that can also be a good source of fiber. Examples here would be things such as oats, quinoa, and whole grain bread. Next, we have our starchy vegetables. These are going to be things such as potatoes, squash, carrots, and sweet potatoes. Potatoes are going to be higher in potassium, similar to bananas, which is super good for hydration and overall performance, along with sodium, which we're going to add to our food. These slower digesting carb sources are going to be great for things such as breakfast or dinner, such as potatoes. You can make them in many different ways in the air fryer, hash browns, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes. Super versatile and pretty good amount of nutrients in them for a carb source. Next, we got legumes. These are going to be higher in protein when it comes to plant sources of protein and also higher in fiber. These could be things such as lentils, chickpeas, and black beans. Things that I highly suggest when you're deeper into a deficit and you want to have more volume of food for the amount of calories that you're consuming. And then generally, we'll talk about some more simple carbs that are a little quicker digesting. This could be things such as rice cakes, bagels, regular rice. All of these simple carbs are a lot better for post-workout and places where we want a little quicker digestion because they have less fiber in them, which is going to allow them to digest a bit quicker. So post-workout, we want to get those muscle glycogen stores replenished so our body can start building and repairing that muscle tissue. There's also research showing that in order to get the quickest absorption of the carbohydrates post-workout, we should have a combination of fructose and more starchy carbs, the glucose. So adding things like fruit with some carbs like rice cakes, that's going to be a great combination for post-workout to jumpstart that recovery process. Now, as far as the total amount of carbs that you should be consuming, this is a little more personal and can't give you an exact number. However, in other videos, you've seen us talk about the breakdown of macronutrients. So you want to start with your protein, we want about 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. Next, we can set our fat target at about half of our body weight in kilograms as the absolute minimum. So for me, that's about 45 grams of fat. I don't want to go below that. I can have more if I want, and then the rest of those calories are going to be filled in with carbohydrates. Now, as we diet, we're going to bring both the carbs and the fat macros down slowly in order to create that deficit. We'll see some continued progress. Once we hit a plateau for a few weeks, we can decrease those carbohydrates and fats once again to create a bit more of a deficit and keep the weight loss going. There's no point in completely taking the carbs from where they're at to zero, as you're not leaving yourself room to progress. You're going to be more hungry, you're going to have poor workouts, and you're going to have very, very low energy. So we now know that keeping carbs in the diet means that you're going to have more energy in order to train harder, you're going to recover faster, and you're going to actually enjoy life while sticking to your fat loss plan. And that, my friends, is the real advantage of carbohydrates. Carbs are not the villain they're made out to be. It really just stems from a lack of awareness around nutrition. Choosing nutrient-dense carbs and focusing them around your workout is going to allow you to see increases in performance and more sustained energy throughout the day, along with better, more sustainable fat loss results. So if you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for no nonsense, no BS fitness advice. And if you're ready to go to the next step and work with a coach, you can click the link, fill out a quick strategy call application. We'll chat about your goals, see if it is right for you. If not, we'll send you with some valuable resources and information to help you tackle it on your own. Thanks for watching. Don't fall for the quick fix fat diets thinking carbs are the enemy. If you really want to get jacked and stay lean and perform at your absolute best while increasing your strength, make sure you're still eating those carbohydrates, and we'll see you in the next one.